This message is an open letter to all Canadian journalists. My name is Nadernejad, and I work in a unique industry called online reputation management. I help people from all walks of life, also corporations and businesses, fix, repair, and manage their online reputations. I'm also a former journalist. While it was a very short stint, I am a graduate of the University of King's College. I have a Bachelor of Journalism honors degree. What I'm petitioning all journalists to do is to remove or take down content, specifically de-index content, that prevents people from living a functional life. So what I'm saying is, if somebody does, and this, I'm going to use client examples, stunt driving on the highway, they have a DUI, they were driving under the influence, and it's in the press. Let's say a local Herald or Tribune reports on it. And it has their name in the H1 tag, in the heading of that article, and throughout the body of that article. Every time that person tries to get a job, when the background check is initiated and a Google search, which many employers do, is done, that person is not going to be able to get a job. And so the issue there is, if we report on people about the things that they've done, and we include their names because we want to be objective and we want to teach our audience. We want to teach the people that we're accountable for. Journalism is a fundamental pillar of democracy. We want to teach people about what's going on, show them what's going on, to show them the full picture. But unfortunately, what we don't realize is, I've spoken to county commissioners in the US, I've spoken to activists, I've spoken to people who've done a lot of positive throughout their life. But because it's not significant enough to make the news, when they do one thing bad, it's in the Google search engine forever. Forever. And these people can't get jobs. I've spoken to clients in the US who their kids are bullied at school. They've had threatening messages left on their car because of something that they've done in the past. So I have a question for Canadian journalists specifically, because we're in Canada and I'm seeing the same issues arise in our marketplace. If we report on people and that report stays on the internet forever, how do we draw the line between objectively representing not just the story but that person's character? Because journalism and our stories are indexed in the search engine. How do we fully represent that? We can't. Our one piece of content is going to become the defining piece of content of that person's character forever. And that is a huge ethical question we need to ask, because by writing a single story, we can not only be destroying somebody's life, but the livelihood of their family. That person can't get a job, it affects their income, it affects the schools that their kids can be sent to, it affects the food that they can put on their table. So I'd like to have a conversation with Canadian journalists about what do we do about this, situation that we're seeing, and how can we better represent the people that we report on and ensure that, there is some resolution, there is some method, there is a step-by-step that people who are affected by this can go through. Because once our stories have been published, they get their initial impressions, they've been circulated. Most of the hits are going to come from people trolling on the site, so going through, perusing your site, or they're going to come from people who are doing a search. When people are doing a search and they stumble upon your story, the impressions you're getting from that are usually minimal. It's usually when people are searching for that person's name. So perhaps there should be a method for us to de-index the story. It's still live on the website, it still exists in record, but it doesn't appear in search engines. And that's something I'd like to run by Canadian journalists, because I know it's hard to make profits in a journalistic landscape where there's a lot of, cuts and there's a lot of competition between advertisers. So I think it's something we should discuss. And I really encourage you to reach out, and I'm happy to speak on the record. Thank you.